the wind blows, I will follow. Will you come this way with me? I couldn't think of a more perfect time or better place to give up my wings and find some liberty. Take it easy, take it easy.
Hello and welcome to Owning It, the podcast that celebrates the inspiring choices made by women who refuse to simply follow the crowd and chose the road less traveled. I'm your host, Sandhya Thukaram, and in each episode, we'll have real conversations with these incredible women who choose to carve their own path because following just isn't an option. They may not be making headlines, but every one of them is a role model. So join me and let's explore the power of choice and the inspiration it brings right here on Owning It. Sumana's story for me is almost like a fairy tale romance. It involves true love for music, finding her truth in the city of Paris, and curating her happily ever after as she owned her choice to become a singer and songwriter over a well paid corporate job. Join me and listen to the lovely, inspiring tale unfold. Sumana, hi. Thank you so much. This is the first time we're actually seeing each other online, but we've spoken once before and I've heard a lot about you. And it was the first time I heard about you that made me very eager to get to a conversation with you. My sister had the loveliest things to say, but it was about this one day on a metro station and you that she spoke about that got me really intrigued, and I stalked you for a bit till you agreed to this conversation. So, for a start, these conversations are all about women owning it and making choices. And I want to go back to that day on that metro station, Sumana, when it was so definitive to a choice you made on that day. Can you relive it for us?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, I share your sentiments. Thank you so much for inviting me to this conversation. I'm really thrilled to meet you face to face for the first time, and the conversations that we had before were really lovely. So thank you for that. So I'll take you back to that day. It was a really defining, moment in my life. So I'd come to Paris. I had been here for a couple of years. I had done my MBA, and was fortunate to have found a really good job in an insurance company, and it was all kind of working out. Little did I know that wasn't really the plan. Anyways, I was in Châtelet. Châtelet is one of the busiest, biggest metro stations in Paris. And I remember coming back from work and hearing this musician. I could hear music, and there's this long corridor that I had to walk through to get to my house. And through this corridor, I could hear this voice and this guitar. And I was like, wow, what is that? I had never seen, someone performing in the metro. I didn't even know it could be a thing. Because growing up in India, we don't see that in bus stops or in Bangalore back then. We didn't have a metro. And then I come to this juncture in the metro station, and I see this musician sitting and playing guitar, voice, sending out so much of positive energy out there for anyone who wants to listen. He didn't care if people were stopping, if people were passing by. There were lots of people just passing by. It was rush hour. But lots of people also just stopping and soaking it in. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, maybe not at that particular point, but I did pass by him 2-3 days in a row because that was his job. He would always come and play in the metro at the same time every day. And at one day, I remember I would just stand and look at him 2 hours, 3 hours. It didn't matter however long he played. And one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. Really, I was just looking at him. I was like, this is what I need to do. I need to get back to music, because I used to, sing earlier in Bangalore when I was living in Bangalore, never in a professional context. But with studies and job, you kind of get pulled away from, at least I got pulled away from music. And seeing him in the metro, his name is Vanu Pie, Vanupie. It was very strong in me that I had to get back to music. And he changed everything for me because I remember him sitting and playing, and I thought he was a homeless guy. You know, we have all these perceptions of people who are maybe, I wouldn't say begging, but it's perceived as begging.
Yeah.
I thought he was
In
homeless.
India, for sure, it would be looked at.
Yeah, exactly. Here it's mixed. Some people do think it's begging. Some people think no, they're performing. You know that's
The
what it.
artists.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember getting in touch with him, like speaking to him. Like this guy I didn't even know, and I just asked him, "Will you take guitar lessons from me?" You know, and that was, I think, I keep telling him I'm in touch with him today. He's my mentor. I say he changed my life because he said, "Yes, I'll take classes for you, but I need you to be super serious. I don't have, a lot of time. But if you show up for class, if you've learned what we've learned in class before, I'll teach you everything I know."
Wow.
And what a blessing, because I started taking guitar lessons from him, and I realized he wasn't homeless.
That was what he'd chosen to do.
He had chosen to do that.
Yeah.
He used to work in an advertising firm, and he kind of gave up everything to play in the metro. And he showed me everything he knew about songwriting, about song recording, about playing in the metro. And here I was, like 2.5 years into being in France, and completely enamored with this whole new world that I had no clue existed. And Sandhya, that was where, for me at least, my musical journey in Paris, that was where it completely started, thanks to this man who was so generous with me with his knowledge and, so kind to share everything with me. So,
How long ago was this, Sumana?
I think 2011, I want
Okay,
to
so
say.
about 12 years.
Yeah.
Before we go back to the point well before this, I want to talk about what the 12 years has been for you. Where are you now? What is Sumana today post that choice to pursue singing and being a songwriter?
So I'm pleased to say that, yeah, well, today I'm an independent artist. I'm a singer-songwriter. I also look at myself like an artist entrepreneur. And that's what I do for a living. I write songs, I sing, I perform for people. And because the journey is like, it's not a very stable path. I do freelance work from now and then. That has nothing to do with music. But I would say like 95% of my time is dedicated to music.
And I can see the joy it brings. Because this conversation's about choices, I want to get back to before the choice. What had life set you up for before this point at the metro station in Paris?
Um, I was
And
like
you can
climbing.
start at any point from the past that you want to before this.
Well, I would say I think like growing up in India, we're really encouraged to make like wise or like stable, solid career choices. So I did a bachelor's of commerce, and then I was recruited by this insurance firm because I'd learned French in the Alliance and I had my accounting background. I started working in the insurance sector. So it all seemed, I mean, it was wonderful, don't get me wrong. That said, like, it was a great start for a 19-year-old who, was thirsty to just get out there and work. And I went to Zurich many times, and fantastic opportunities. But it was very like a corporate job. You climb up the corporate ladder,
Yeah.
you handle a team, and then you move forward. And at
You
some
get
point,
paid quite well.
and then I made the choice to come to France to do an MBA. So again, very serious kind of studies. Did my MBA in marketing and kind of found my way back into the insurance sector, even though I told myself never again insurance because I want something more fun and
And there you were doing insurance.
then insurance. So I think if I hadn't met Vanupie in the metro, I would have kind of probably just continued on that um, corporate corporate path where I would probably, be managing teams in the marketing department of the firm that I worked with. I don't know. It depends. If we believe in destiny and that you're meant to do things, maybe music would have come to me in another way. I can't answer that, but I think that I would just be in this, 9 to 7 kind of,
That
yeah,
didn't make your heart sing, but maybe your bank balance was flying.
that balance was flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I saw him, I mentioned, and you're right about choices. I like the word that you use, choice, because we all have that. And I'm realizing that we have that choice, whatever it may be, every day, Like, this was a big incident that happened to me, like meeting this stranger, thinking he was homeless, having the courage to go speak to him and trust him. And he then, completely changed my life. Yes, it was a choice. Um, but we have choices every day, like even simple things like waking up in the morning and choosing to make that phone call or not choosing to make that phone call,
Those of us who are fairly privileged, which means we have food on our table and a roof over our head, means we have a choice.
I agree. We are very privileged also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I have these conversations is if we're even slightly privileged, we should try and make choices. And we can, and that's why I like to shine the spotlight on women like you who are using that platform and making these brave choices. And it doesn't mean there is no compromise and doesn't mean there's no trade-off, which leads me to my next question is what were the real challenges of following your heart and a passion and in a sense giving up a fairly comfortable career?
There are a lot of trade-offs, and I still feel it even 5 years after I've kind of I quit my job 5 years ago to kind of follow this path. Let me start with just like societal expectations or expectations from family, um, of what you are supposed to do, and I think that's more ingrained in us growing up in India. I think that role that society and parents and enlarged, how do I say it, relatives, the enlarged family plays.
All of those who have an opinion but aren't really paying for anything in our lives, other than the immediate family, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the first challenge was to accept that I'm not going to make them happy, or I'm not going to uh, mm, fit in their mold, because
Yeah.
you're meant to get married at a certain age, have children, etc., etc. And I never adhered to
You're
any
not
of.
going to conform in a sense
Yeah,
to their
exactly.
idea of what you should be.
Yeah, and I think in my case it was maybe more challenging, or at least I perceived it as more challenging, because the contrast was really different. Like stable job, MBA, super career, and playing in the metro and being perceived as being homeless.
Homeless. Yeah. No, it's the truth. Yeah.
So I think just accepting that it's okay, accepting that I might be an outcast, it's fine. And sometimes that still creeps back, but it's, like it's an ongoing work that you do, to say, hey, listen, this is my life, my choices. And I've been very lucky that my parents have always supported me in everything. So, and the immediate family. So that's been a huge blessing. And that's one of the reasons I can do what I do. But that societal thing where you come from, your educational background, that still holds a lot of weight. Um, so that's
Is it hard when you come back to India or not? Now people have got used to it.
um, it is in some levels still hard. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, I would be lying if I said it's all okay.
Let me ask you a question in a slightly tricky way, or maybe not so tricky. When your parents talk about you to their friends and family, is this something they are proud about? And
Oh,
are
they're
they?
very,
Oh, so
yeah,
that's lovely.
they're very supportive now. Though they love seeing the videos I put out, the songs I
That's
put out.
lovely.
Yeah. So I've been very blessed that way. My dad is currently visiting. He's here in Paris, and he came for a concert. And
Oh,
he's
lovely. The
extremely.
next time I'm in Paris, I'd love to come for a
I'd
concert.
love to invite you. The second maybe challenge is the financial aspect of
Yeah,
things.
and it's a real one, right? I mean, you
It's
have
the
to
real.
live.
Yeah. While the other one is, psychological, you can work on it, you can, financially as well, you can work on things, but it's a very stark difference.
Yeah.
So when I made that choice, I ensured that I had a cushion for 2 years. And I
Hmm.
said, I'm going to give myself 2 years. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'll at least have tried. But I think it's important that we don't put ourselves completely at risk and give up everything, because life can be cruel and you need money to live. um, so once that 2 year period kind of got over and I realized it was working, I was I was okay with making like 60% less or even 70% less in the beginning than what I used to make. And I had to make choices in my life to conform to that bank balance. So, for example, really concrete things, instead of going out with my friends 3 times a week, I would say, no, I'll go out, once in 10 days. And instead of having 3 drinks, I'll have one, because every expense does, have an impact on your balance. So I saw my life change in very concrete ways, like very
Hmm.
tangible ways. But I realized it didn't take away from my joy. I didn't say, "Oh man, I wanted to have that third drink and I couldn't." Or, no, it's
It
okay.
meant you can sing and play the guitar and just be 100% happy.
Yeah, so I realized that you need money, but maybe over a certain limit, it doesn't contribute directly to your happiness. Yes, it can give you comforts and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm still living a very nice life, um and I can do the things I want to do, and somewhere it makes the journey even more juicy. Like, so touch wood, it's working out for now.
And I'm glad we spoke about this, right? I like to keep these things real because it's all very well to have a passion and to follow it, and more power to you. But anybody listening should also understand that there are trade offs, that this is a conscious and intentional choice, that you have chosen to follow something that you love. And at the same time, you were careful about having enough of a cushion, and you're constantly making some trade-offs that don't impact your life in a huge way, but in little tangible ways they do.
Yes.
And it's important
Yeah,
choices.
I realized that your situation counts a lot, in the sense that when I made that choice, my parents were healthy. I wasn't married. I'm still
Yeah,
not married, but I didn't have, like a family, didn't have children. So the only person I had to really take care of was myself.
yeah,
But when you're in a position or a situation where you do have other obligations, it does, uh, bring other things in the equation. Maybe the choices are not that simple,
yeah,
and there are other ways to look at it. So my situation did favor me, to make that choice.
yeah. No, and I'm glad you did that. It all worked out, and you embraced it, and it's a lovely story. Where can we find? And I understand we don't know what life will throw at us, but if you had control over your future, where do you think we'll find you in 5 years from now?
That's a tricky one. Um, what I would like to continue doing is, I'd like to continue creating and writing new songs and putting out new material. And for me, it's not just about the music. At least the things that have meant a lot to me till now, they have a message, like a life lesson that I've learned, something that I feel very strongly about. So my songs that I've written, like Sanctuary or Slow Down or Easy, these songs come with a message about perceiving life in a certain way and living life in a certain way and appreciating life in a certain way. And I want to be able to write more songs like that. and I would like that message to reach more people. Because I think my what I'm realizing as well more and more, and I guess all of us do as we grow older, is that it's so fragile, this journey, this life. It can go at any moment.
Yes.
And we have to make the most of it. We have to milk it. And I want those messages that I talk about in my songs to kind of reach more people. That would be awesome if that happens. And I want to be able to spend more time with family and friends, because that counts as well, to have more freedom in this life that I'm creating for myself as an independent artist. And I can't think beyond that, to be honest.
No, but I think you've spoken about two really beautiful things, and I'm going to ask you, Sumana, and I hope you won't say no, but if you do, I'll respect it. Can you end with a few lines that talks about these messages that you want people to listen to and take away something from?
You mean? Oh yeah, I can speak about that.
Yeah.
I can speak about what I'm.
I meant, can you sing something?
Oh, can I sing? Yeah, I can.
You can get your guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can. Maybe I will sing a song that's called Easy.
And
That
what's
is,
the message?
so Easy I wrote around that period when I met Vanipie. And I was very torn between what was I doing in life. Here is this, this nice job and post MBA, and I was supposed to be all like, I'm killing it. But at the same time, I wasn't really completely satisfied. And then I met Vanipie, and this whole music thing was taking shape, and I was like, could this really be a possibility? So it was a time where I was filled with doubt. I was lost. I was confused. I was projecting way into the future and getting worried. And then I was looking at the past and kind of maybe having regrets on some of my choices, and I wasn't savoring it. And this song came to me, I believe even till today, to tell me, let go, have fun, live in the present moment. You don't have to think about the future that much. Don't have to question the past. Take it easy, savor what life is giving you.
Yeah.
And
That's a lovely message. So let's hear you sing the song.
I'll probably just do one.
Sure. Tease us.
One verse and one chorus. And where the wind blows, I will follow. Will you come this way with me? I couldn't think of a more perfect time or better place to give up my wings and find some liberty. Take it easy, take it easy, slow and steady, living life as it comes to me. But take it easy, just the way it should be. Easy, living life in fantasy.
Beautiful. Really, Sumana, that touched me, and I hope anyone who's listening really takes it easy. And thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Owning It. With every conversation with women who are taking control of their narrative, I'm constantly inspired. Don't forget to tune in to the next conversation with yet another woman choosing her own path and owning it.